Hey, how are we doing? It's JJ. Afternoon off work. I intend on spending a few hours out in the woods. Come back to one of the woods that I've frequented for the last couple of years before we moved house. It's only like a 10-minute drive away and it's a lovely location. I want to spend a little bit of time in the Lavvu. Shock horror, no shock there really. But what I want to show you today is a couple of products which will aid you in the erection or putting up of the Polish Lavvu, and these have been sent to me by a good friend of mine that goes by the name of Rough Timber. Towards the end of the video maybe I'll put up a link and I'll tell you a little bit more about Rough Timber. But what Rough Timber is really well known for is a couple of products, and the first one is the Tri-P, and the second one is the Bi-P, and obviously these speak for themselves in what they aid you to do. Full Lavvu setup, no centre pole with the Tri-P, and the Bi-P half Lavvu, but it does have other applications and I will talk about that. Now these are not made of plastic, although they sound like it. These are actually made in like a mold, sort of like 3D printer, from cornstarch. So under the right circumstances they are biodegradable, so that's really good. So we're going to be using both of these, and the idea is to get rid of the centre pole, and obviously I'm quite well known for not using that centre pole, but you're going to need a couple of tools for this. You're going to need a knife and you're going to need a saw. Now obviously kids always use sharp pointy things under adult supervision, and that probably goes for a lot of adults as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go and find myself some hazel staves and start to get those processed. Other woods are available. Hang on, I'll be back. So what I've done is just cut 3 hazel stands down to an approximate 180 centimeters, which is just close to 6 foot in length. I'm just over 5'10", so I just generally tend to cut them a little bit just over head height. And what I'm just doing is trimming the ends. Knife away. Yeah, and we can see that this now, just the first one, fits nicely in there. Now Jim at Rough Timber sort of says that the fittings that insert is approximately 20 millimeters in diameter, so it's a rough approximation. I don't want it to be too snug and secure, otherwise it's going to get jammed in there and you might have trouble getting it out. So I want to be using this a lot more, so I'm just going to get the other 2 bits trimmed down and I'll bring you back in. So we're set up. Now the poles that you find are not always going to be of the right length and thickness, and that's why you need to cut them down. If you get the length right, that's okay. It doesn't matter if these are less than 20 centimeters. I found one that was a rough approximation of that. The other 2 were already damaged bits of hazel that have been sort of pulled down, so rather than cut some staves, some lengths unnecessarily, I'm just using these, but these just do the job for now. So we're just going to pop that down. I'll include a pic, but there is a point on here all the way around on all 3 sides where there is a hole, and that so you could hang a tripod down if you wasn't using a Lavvu over a fire and boil a kettle, or you can use these as to hang a torch and that inside. So we all know that by getting rid of the centre pole gives you a lot more space underneath. Yes, I've done videos on this before where you just get 3 staves of hazel and you just kind of interlock them, lash them, and that's brilliant. But sometimes you know, you just want something that's a little bit more secure, and that's what this amazing product does. So I'm just going to quickly grab the Lavvu, we'll whack that over, and we'll see the end finished product. Hang on. So there we go. We all know how much room this actually gives. Let's just take that one out. Just gives you a really, really secure top to the Lavvu. So the biped. So the biped has a few applications, and obviously you just have two inserts at approximately a 45-degree angle, and then one big 360-degree circle in the middle. Spar on my little eye. So obviously if you were just using a half, you would insert the two like so down to the ground, and then you can again just run a ridge line off to a tree or down away from your Lavvu area down to the ground. But obviously what you can also do, what this is designed to do, is sit in the apex of one half like so, one half here, and like I've done before, running a tarp to the second half to create like an A-frame. And this centre hole is designed to take a bigger, thicker long stave to then sit in, which you can sort of, if it just pokes out a little bit here, you could tie down and tie back into there, and again on the other end, and just put the tarp up to create like an A-frame baker style sort of tent with the extended Lavvu. Absolutely fantastic product, fantastic. Now, as I say, these are not plastic, they're made from cornstarch. Rough Timber also does the tri-P extenders, so they're at like that sort of angle, so where you'd have these coming down towards the ground. If you've got a skirt extended on yours, the poles go down, go into those, and you run another pole down to the ground, and that way you would have your skirt extended up, and that as well, still creating all that sense of room on the Lavvu. He also does something, and I'll get a picture of this from Rough Timber, something called the Shroom P, and that's if you've got a big tent tarp sort of set up, and you know how it can like sag and that in the middle. It's like a big sort of shroom version of this, where you can stick a pole into it, so a nice big sort of round at the top, and it will just push the top of the tarp up. Rough Timber has a YouTube channel, he's on Facebook, and he is also on Instagram, so check out Rough Timber, and from there you can gain access to his Etsy site and see the products that he makes, because they're absolutely fantastic. So there you go, the tri-P and the biped from Rough Timber. Go check them out, amazing. See you later.